It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and...
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go. He had many regrets. So when Mr. Callis came to him with... He tried to be as careful as he could.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and even if he fired the shot that killed my husband. It was likely...
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so...
Well, things aren't...
Yeah, Papa was a really...
Then you should hold on to that. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol...
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me.
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time any...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at...
Yeah, I've heard.
It also reminded me. After my partner here put the dots... Can you do me a favor and try...
Let me think. After that, my first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life wasn't... But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his...
So you also remember 2 gunshots.
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot didn't... Reason being, Mr. Callis... But according to the guards, about the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned in...
At least from our perspective, my father had... The gun he was holding probably belonged to...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying, Mr... But hold on. If that... He didn't even want to face the... Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, I'll tell you everything.
I understand. Then, and if I may just say one more thing. Many people have laughed at me for still... But it was Mr. Callis's truck, no matter what others might say.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina... it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here?
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running it. It would be next to impossible. Anyway.
Ah, yes. What happened at the Opera House?
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the... If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have...
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's...
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me...
Then you think too highly of my abilities. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but if you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef... Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might. So I can promise you, those they're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth bit...
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, jokes aside, I'd like to... I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so...
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? Sure.
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about...
Yes, I've...
Oh, you were at the Opera House.
That's right. I went there with Navia to see... I also witnessed your marvelous... To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf. I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right...
Exactly. I still don't have...
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking...
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected...
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. But rest assured, Navia, if anyone dares to lay their hands on...
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
Ah, about that. Sorry, my age is... The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much...
We've talked to all three suspects. Purely...
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single... Anyway, even though we didn't make a...
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Florent...
According to Jacques' family members, he... If I had...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was...
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back... Makes sense. But without... Besides Jacques, the attack from... It's obvious that our enemy...
Do you think he knew?
Given everything that's happened... But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. Still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business? Florent? It is, but... Spina, do...
So you're saying he's...
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able... Thierry, you say? But... I didn't...
Yeah. If the mecha were taken from the...
Who could it be? You know, if you think everything...
Could we be missing other suspects?
Malus, the suspect is knowledgeable about this... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you, if the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right. Because they'll think they've all...
Yeah. And it'll...
I am... Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the You're right. This is our best opportunity. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver, When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require. It's our hope that your confidence will be bold.
Thank you so-
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Aranias, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary. Ah, you're right. And Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway, so I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... of Cabriere!
Huh? What confrery? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may... Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specific...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabriere. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarande in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even, in truth, the third person shot Jacques first. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the ability. Something's not... Something's not right. The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin. This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
So that's what happened.
Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these—
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should—
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said.
Then, may I ask some questions? 1. Do you have the evidence?
I'm afraid not.
Boo! If you don't have—
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. We should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the lab.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved.
I've thought about this too. And the dissolving power of what my father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What? If the secret had gotten out, of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter, but what good would that do? How had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice? But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support, but since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us—
So, during the duel—
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others— just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to— I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link—
Right? What she said was fascinating, but—
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial—
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of time. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't—
know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might— Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation? But if I were to dismiss this completely, do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyway.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no— In addition, I left my home in Snezh, but the disappearances began before—
I do apologize, Demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family, could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anger?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings, but aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Let the show begin.
No touching! For Rex Lapis!
Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place. Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Born of ice and no touching. Next on the agenda. Born of ice and let's dance. This is long overdue.
Twin blade!
Access denied. Born of ice and frost.
Now the path is clear! Let's go!
I'll protect us. We're way behind schedule. No touching. Let's dance. Access denied.
Windblade!
Next on the agenda. Born of Ice and...
Nice and spicy.
We're way behind schedule.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Race you. After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence. Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious. What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jake. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people... In any case... Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation. Yep. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus had. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all just so evil. Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth, and that special water is the main ingredient. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth, but the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take note. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled? Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here? And then they were turned into water. And all the boxes of things, these names. That means... Oh, we've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But... yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing. Paimon won't admit defeat to this guy either. You take that side, and Paimon will take this side. Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so... So many! A whole page's worth! The final name she decided... Marcel! Wait, but... Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on... Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised.
I was waiting for you to say...
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence,
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Vignier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity, and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher!
so that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his...
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next step.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still... I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! Vignier! Vignier! Please, Vinyare, don't think badly of me. All I want...
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer...
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vinyare. During an underwater expedition, Vinyare accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vinyare back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, after exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect and just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charge. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is... guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves! Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to, so...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Ugh, what now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right?
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't have—
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know what happened there either.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by—
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going—
However, given the state of things, and, of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable. All shall be revealed in time. You will— Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
So she chose to make her escape after all, did—
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. Oh, Monsieur Neuvillette! That power you showed when you took him down.
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it, then it makes a mockery of justice.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please, please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs? Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on the stage as well?
Vacher.
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vignier, it's me! It's me, Vacher!
Vacher? Vacher.
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vignier?
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Vignier, is that you? It's me, Vacher! Vignier!
Vacher? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left. All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vignier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You... Wait, you are not Vignier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed, our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals. But I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vignier.
Why? But then, where is Vignier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any... But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing you are not is Vignier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
No! Vignier! She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please, have mercy.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignier. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache?
Vache.
Vache!
Vache.
Vache! Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia!
Oh, now that I believe.
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days.
It's just been one thing after the other. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. This time, though.
So his name's definitely been cleared now.
It's been the dearest wish of the...
That blasted stubborn fool. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew...
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula. I believe the story was called... To be fair, though, she was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence...
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
Well, it was thanks to her that we were able...
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved... Oh, actually, there's still one last thing I need to do.
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave. And on top of that, just how much people still look up to him. To the...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too!
Sure thing.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days. Huh. This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Hmm?
Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to... I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still,
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Nervalette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice anyway? There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly, and if not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of a justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. This regret has filled me with a sadness. That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but...
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you don't...
So Navia and Nervalette, let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there? Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing? Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad. Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we...
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to—
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see, I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well?
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the—
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as—
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea.
Huh. So it really was where everything began.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or—
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really—
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right!
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the—
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine. Speaking of the prophecy, if the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? My apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent!
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, which is all to say I have been prepared for a situation. I was not aware such a thing had occurred. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, if we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit,
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Your sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epiclese. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so—
All right, you've got— Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped. You know, we've been walking around for a while now. Why don't we go back to the Spina di Rosula base in the court of Fontaine and have a rest? Navia said something about having a place ready for us there, didn't she? Come on, let's go!